Feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards, and just have the tins by your sides and your arms by your sides at the moment. Roll and drop your shoulders, and then as usual we're rolling forwards and backwards through the toes, through the heels, feeling the weight go through your toes, feel the weight come back through your heels. Good, and that's really nice, hopefully, around your feet. To feel your feet working, feel your calves working, perhaps, although that's difficult to feel, I reckon. But maybe your thighs squeeze a little bit to stop you falling over. Good. Widen your feet very slightly to just roll from side to side. Squeeze one glute and then the other. The reason why I start with these exercises is always, it's just good, especially when you've been working, sitting at a desk, whatever you've been doing, it's good to feel the body again, to bring your attention back into your body. So some of these simple exercises, just rocking from side to side and going forwards and backwards on the feet, can just make you aware again of the different parts of your body. So settle somewhere in between. Soften your knees slightly. That's just taking them out of that lock. Tuck under and stick your bottom out just a couple of times in this workout, just to feel that range. And then settle halfway in between. Now I can pretty much guarantee that's with your bottom tucked under slightly and your abdominals working slightly to tuck under. Roll and drop your shoulders. Have some kind of awareness around the shoulder blades. Almost imagine them being tucked down into your back pockets. Good. Palms facing up with the tins in your hands and taking your hands out to the side. Feel that you stretch at the end of the range there. When you take your hands right out, feel that there's a stretch at the end of the range. And that should be around the back, around your shoulder blades, perhaps across the front of your chest, depending on where your individual tightnesses are, really. Good. You're holding the tins, but you're not gripping them. Good. Take your hands out and then take your arms out. Now that might, you might feel a stretch through the arms on that movement. Elbows in, hands together. Just embrace that stretch. But try and go straight out to the side. Try not to go forwards or backwards. Try and go straight out to the side. And see if you can get those arms level as well. I'm working on that. I think my right arm always wants to go higher. That feels a little bit more straight to me, so it's very useful for me to have the video to concentrate on. Good. 2 more. Good. Now stay there on that one. Turn your palms down, then turn your palms up. Turn down, turn up. Good. So these ones are good for things like RSI, or even just tightness around the arms and the hands, I suppose, which could be an early sign of something like RSI, to be honest. Good. Brilliant. Good. Keep your palms up and then bend and straighten. Good. Keeping the elbows pointing straight out to the side. So you're not moving the arm from the shoulder to the elbow. From the elbow, the bend and straighten. See if you can tap the shoulder and straighten out. So this isn't about getting big biceps, obviously, with a couple of tins of beans. It's a little bit about toning. It's a bit about stability, but also stretching. When I open out like that, I really feel things stretching through those arms. I don't even sit at a desk to work. This is what I do. Good. If you can handle it, turn your palms to face forwards. And we're just coming all the way up and back down again like that. All the way up and back down. Thinking about keeping those ribs down, knees a little bit soft, bottom scooped under. Great. Make sure you don't crash the tins together. Good. Pulling the shoulder blades down. Nice. All right. So that's a little bit tiring around the shoulders, right? It can be. So lifting one heel. Bring the feet a little bit closer than hip width apart for this one. Drop the shoulders down. Swap legs and back down again. I swear this is like an 80s aerobics workout, isn't it? I don't mean it to be. Especially with my long socks that look like leg warmers. Good. Which I'm wearing for compression purposes, by the way, because I'm just on my feet all day. It does seem to help if there's anybody else out there that needs it. I got these from the sock shop, I think. A little bit warm in this weather, hence I'm wearing shorts. Good. Brilliant. Both heels down on the floor, tins together and stretch straight up. You can see the bottoms of my tins, right? Stretching straight up through the shoulders and draw the ribs down. So pull the ribs down like that. Bending always feels a little bit awkward and stretchy around the shoulders, but then you get into it. So bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. If your elbows have to come out to the side a little bit more, I don't mind too much. But do try and work on pointing your elbows straight up towards the ceiling / sky, wherever you happen to be, if you're lucky enough to be able to get out in the garden to do this. Mine's just a bit noisy. And I don't know whether you guys have noticed, but there seem to be many more planes going over. The trains, more trains. We've even got a road quite close by and the traffic's picking up as well. I'm just distracting you from how many tricep exercises I'm just making you do. Stop there and roll your shoulders. Good. With the bottoms of the tins pointing straight forwards, we're squatting and coming back up. Squeeze your thighs on the way back up. Sit back into it. Drop the shoulders. Good. Squeeze in through your tummy. Squeeze your glutes on the way back up. Make sure your knees don't drop in. So many things. Got such high expectations, haven't I? Good. 2 more. Brilliant. And on to my favourite exercise from the other day. Apologies for those of you who are wobbly, but maybe by doing them a little bit more, we can get you a bit more stable. So one leg in front, the other one behind, both knees straight, drop the heel down and pull back up. Drop and pull back up. Good. Keep strong through your abs. 7, pulling onto the toes, especially through that big toe. Good. Keep breathing. Can't do enormous amounts with the tins. You could do a combination of exercises, although that's bound to throw you off balance. Good. Nice one. Other side, stick the other leg back. Remember, both knees are straight for this one. Just going up and down. Feel yourself go into that stretch and then pull back up. Stretch and pull back up. Good. Squeezing in through your tummy. And then add in those silly arms. Good. Nice. If you want to. You don't have to add the arms in. Good stuff. Ooh, I've been off balance on this one all the way through. Last one. Nice one. Good. Come back in. Lovely. So a nice little bit of leg work there. Standing on the end of the mat. Drop your chin. Curling, curling, curling down. all the way to the bottom. Now the tins are fantastic here for rolling forwards. But first of all, I want you to hang your head, hang your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath in, breathe out, and now roll the chins as far forwards as you can with your fingertips. Now don't worry if that's not very far, and please don't worry if you're not there. I don't mind that at all. If you're not there and you can't roll them forwards, then just keep hanging and stretching in that position. So pushing forwards. Good. Breathing out with them forwards. And then come back again. Good. And then roll forwards again. On the fingertips. Come back in. Bend and straighten each knee, pushing one knee back at a time. Good stuff. Good work. Okay, so we're coming down onto the hands and knees. We're not going to weight bear through those tins, as tempting as that kind of is. Let's bring them to the end of the mat there. And just on your hands and knees here, I want you to curl your back all the way up and drop all the way down. But instead of doing this passively, let's do it actively. So as you curl up, squeeze in your tummy. As you come down, squeeze those back muscles to arch the back. So even with the stretching exercises, we can activate and use the right muscles. Good. Last one. Brilliant. And let's grab one of our tins. So it's going to be out in front of us a little bit here. And what I want us to do is pulse up and back down. Lift up and back down. Don't worry about how high you get that tin. It's all about the mobility in the shoulder. I want you to also focus on drawing in through your tummy. 8, 9, 10. Swap sides. Weight bear through the other arm, strong through that arm, and the other one. There's too many others there, but this one up and down. 3, 4. Tummy strong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go sideways. I'm just going to move myself around a little bit here from the side. Out and down. Keeping the shoulders level. 2, 3, 4. Keeping the back strong. 5, 6, 7, 8. Bit boring these, aren't they? 9, 10. Other side. Take a breath in. Sideways. 1, 2. Keep the elbow long and strong. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Fantastic. And then behind. So stretch back. I'm going to do this arm first so you can see. It's got to kind of start there, look. Can't start underneath you very easily. Starts back there because we're doing a straight arm. 2, 3, 4. Starts to get tiring, doesn't it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Swap sides. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, enough of that. Well done. Turning over, sitting. Good. So, knees bent, up tall, tins out in front of you. No rest for those shoulders, huh? So if you want to do these without the tins, then you certainly can. I've got pretty strong shoulders, so I can keep going with these kind of exercises quite happily. And I'm sure some of you that are stronger than me as well. So, up tall, arms up in front, tuck your bottom under, pull the tins in towards your chest, and then push them out as you come up tall again. Curl under, scoop in. Good. 3, 4, 5, don't worry about that clicking as you come back up tall. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Brilliant, straighten out your legs, put the tins either side, and again, that nice sort of rolling forwards is nice. So we can slightly bounce into this stretch. It's not really bouncing a stretch. It's just easing down into it. Muscles quite like to be stretched and held. Nerves need a little bit of backwards and forwards motion. And I like to think with every stretch we do, we're stretching muscles, nerves, tendons, ligaments, everything. So a little bit of a controlled bounce into a stretch like this is just fine, just to reassure you. Good. So arms up in front, curl back. On this exercise, we're scooping in, curling and scooping in. And the arms go up and down. Pin your legs together. You will feel a little bit more pressure through the abdominals as you lift the arms up. Embrace that a little. And make sure you scoop in and continue to work. Good. Two more. Brilliant. Pull up and forwards. If you can get hold of your feet, then do as you stretch forwards, but just wherever you end up. Good stuff. Okay, onto our backs. So I like to always guide through these exercises on your backs. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. Your toes are pointing forwards. Your knees are hip width apart as well. Around the pelvis, we are going to rock and tuck under and then stick your bottom out. Tuck under and stick your bottom out. So we're rocking backwards and forwards. Feeling the range through your pelvis, which is really, really important. Good. Settle somewhere in between. Find that little arch under your lower back. Make sure your hand won't go all the way underneath. Tighten through your pelvic floor, which accesses your deep abdominals, that corset that runs all the way around. Your ribs are down, the chest is open, chin is tucked, and then we're lifting and lowering one leg to tabletop each time. So tabletop and down, tabletop and down. Good. The big mistake a lot of people make with these, and I don't want to assume that some of you are not making this mistake, so just for a correction, lots of people think that this movement is an opening of the knee, like that, a kicking of the leg. It's not, it's knee coming in, like that. So knee coming in, like that. You're folding at the hip, not opening at the knee. There is a little bit of opening at the knee that is incidental. Drawing in your lower tummy. The whole idea of this exercise is that your hips stay stable. When the foot lands on the floor, push through it a little bit and allow the other one to come up. If anyone's struggling with any kind of back pain at the moment or anything, these are the important ones. These are the ones to repeat as often as you can. Even though they don't feel like much, you always feel like you need to push yourself. But these are the ones to do. Good. Lovely. Lowering the knee sideways and come back up. And then the other side, lower sideways and come back up. This one is all about not letting the hips rock from side to side. So hands on the front of the hips is always good to guide you. That little bit of tactile kind of guidance is really useful. Good, and then the third in this little series, if you come up to tabletop with the right leg, so the knees above the hip, stretch it out, back into tabletop, and back down again. Continue. Other leg, out, in, down. This is one of the only exercises in Pilates that's really kind of jerky. I want you to hit each of the positions, tabletop, out, in, down. If you can think of these exercises working those deep, deep abdominals, the ones that hug the spine and stabilize it, it makes the harder exercises much more efficient, so you can do more of them and get a lot more out of them as well. So they're always worth doing. I always feel like I've got to explain away these ones because they are a little simple. One more each side. Good. Lovely. So make sure you hit your positions again. Your feet are hip width apart. You've got that little arch in the lower back. Your chest is nice and open. I want your hands behind your head. And we're crunching and then we're pushing into that little bit of resistance at the end. And then we're coming back down and the head comes all the way down. Crunch and down. 10 of these. 3, 4. Still trying to access those deep abdominals as well. 5, 8, 9, 10. Right leg to tabletop. Continue. 1, 2. Drawing in through that lower tummy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Swap. So the other leg's up. 1. Keep pushing down through the leg that's on the floor. 3, 4. Pulling in the tummy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the grueling bit. Both legs up and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brilliant. Coming back down. Bring one leg to the floor. Hold on behind the back of the other one. I'd like us to go up and down with that leg. So a little bit of a hamstring stretch that I'm sneaking into the middle of this workout. 5, 6. Tight hamstrings, pull on the back all the time. Keep that leg up, point and flex the ankle. You can only just see my toes there at the end. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring that leg down. Hold on behind back of the other. You get a bit of a thigh workout as well. It's like doing leg extension in the gym. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At the top, point and flex. 2. You might feel that pulling all the way up through the leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Bring that down. Give your legs a little shake. Brilliant. Okay, with the ribs down and the arch in the back and the tightness through here, drop the shoulders, right leg up, pick up the left, right down, left down. Hands across your tummy, making sure the tummy's not pushing outwards when you lift up both legs. Tucking the chin, opening the chest, keeping your breathing relaxed. Not getting too stressed out about all of the positions. Just be as accurate as you can and keep practicing. Keep joining me. All of this information will be sinking in. Good. Now we're going to swap legs. Other leg first. Good. Scoop in the lower tummy. Keep the ribs down. Think about that pelvic floor being your access point to lift and tighten and squeeze through your deep abdominals. Two more. Brilliant. Little shake of the legs. I always find that kind of brings them back a little bit when the thighs have been working hard. Nice deep breath. Breathe out and crunch and push your fingertips down towards your toes. We're going to beat the hands up and down, and you're going to breathe in for 5 and out for 5. In, out, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 5. Last 10, out 2, 3, 4, 5. But we're going to stay up. Right hand behind the head, left up and down. Keep pulling inwards with your tummy. Think about someone with an umbrella pulling and squeezing downwards like that. We get in such a habit of bracing outwards to create strength that it's good to try and get past that. Swap sides, other arm down, good, up and down, keeping the elbow wide, keeping in that crunch, if in doubt, crunch a little bit higher. Last 10. 5. Good. Come back down. And just pull the shoulders down away from the ears. The chest is open, the ribs are down. Right leg up. Tummy in. Pick up the left, knees and toes together. We're going to open one knee and pull back together again, and then the other knee and come back together. Good. Out and together. Out and together. Good. Keeping that chin tucked. Good. Always best to keep your breathing relaxed, and as I always say, breathe into the outer lungs here, not into your tummy. That disrupts what you're trying to do to stabilize around your abs. Good. Staying up there, knees and toes separated. Stretch out and back in, stretch out and back in. If you're struggling a little bit, stretch further up towards the ceiling. Or even with both legs down, up, out, in, down. So continue with that one, but the full exercise is stretching out. You want to work a bit harder, crunch at the same time. Cool. Keep breathing. Breathe into those outer lungs. Straighten the knee fully each time. 4 more if you can. Nice. Bring your legs in. Great stuff. Okay, feet down on the floor for shoulder bridges. It's always, I quite like the heels to be a little bit closer. When we're doing the normal exercises here, the heels should be around here. With shoulder bridges, they're a little bit closer. Not squeeze too far or it moves everything a little bit too much. So as close as you can. Arms down by your sides to start with. Tucking under, curling up, pushing your knees away in that direction, along your thighs and out through the end of your knees. Curl back down again. Notice when I curl up, my knees actually go quite far over the end of my toes if you're looking straight down. Good, and curl back down. That's what you're aiming for, pushing the knees away. That makes you use your glutes a little bit more. And you might feel a bit of a stretch down the fronts of the thighs. Good, which is all good. Good. 2 more. Last one. Good work. We're going to start lifting one leg up at a time. I always find the first one of these, I think I've said this before, the first one of these is the most difficult. You come up and you think, how am I going to lift one leg up? You definitely take the weight over to one side and then you stretch up the other leg. Once you place it down, you take the weight onto that one and lift that one. Once you've got started, I find it gets easier. So let's curl up. You can lift one leg, lift the other leg, and then come back down again. Or you can just continue with the shoulder bridges. So we're up, right leg, down, place it, tighten it, pick up the other, and down, and down. Hands on your ribs might help. Hands on your glutes might help to try and keep them up. Good. If your lower back starts to hurt, we had a conversation about this on Friday. Yes, Friday. That could be those back muscles working. It could mean you've got to tuck under a little bit more. It could mean you've got to place your heel a little bit further under your bum. It could mean you've got to go down a level. Do one leg, other leg, and then back down. One more each side. Nice. Curl back down. And I wouldn't lie, my back is starting to ache a little bit there after those, but it eases and calms, which makes me think I was just using it on the exercise. Roll your knees from side to side. Good stuff. All right. So turning, I was going to say facing the camera, facing me, there. Prop yourself up, head in your hand, tuck the bottom hip back, tuck the ribs back, scoop and tuck under. Imagine you're doing a crunch. You're doing one of those exercises on your back. You're doing a crunch. Your top knee should be a little bit further away than your bottom knee. So do this kind of movement. Trust me, I know that's a little bit difficult. In my classes, I tend to come along and pull this leg down and away. So feel free to stretch and push that down and away with that hand. Tucking under and lifting the top knee. Scoop in your tummy. So these are called clams or oysters, as you can imagine. Good work. That's level 1. Level 2 is with the feet up. So everybody bring the feet up and continue. Keep working through your tummy. Good. Don't let the top hip rock back. Good work. Level 3 is coming up onto the elbow. So continue up on the elbow. Might take a second or so to get up there. Pushing up and out of that arm. Don't let yourself sink down. Push up and out of it. Good. The next level is stretching out the bottom leg, bending the top leg. So your top foot is hooked around your bottom knee. Draw in your tummy and lift that knee. 1, 2, 3. It feels really heavy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come down onto the floor. Make a pillow for your head. Both legs stretched out. Top hand for balance. Up, up, down, down. Okay? Up, up, down, down. Bit unpleasant on the bottom leg, I have to say, bottom hip. Good. No cam. Good. Keep going. In fact, yes, you can have one of those. Keep scooping in your tummy. 2 more. Oh, not nice on your bottom hip. Or the top one for that fact. Coming round to the other side. Good. So we started down with our head propped up. Tuck the bottom hip back, tuck the ribs back, tuck your bottom under using your abs. Good. Push that top knee away. So elongate along the top knee. And then bending, lifting your top knee. Struggling to speak by this time of the day. Gets worse. Good. I say this time of the day, it's literally 2:30. That's a bit worrying. Brilliant. Feet up, level 2. Keep scooping in your tummy, keep stable, squeezing through here. Try not to grip through your feet, just keep your feet together. Brilliant. Level 3, up on that elbow, don't sink down into it, push up and away, draw in your tummy. I filmed for YouTube today an inner thigh workout, 10 minutes with a football. So if you want to hop onto YouTube for an inner thigh workout, then do. It's quite good. In fact, if you've all got a ball at home, which you must have, and you can have a pillow instead, I might add some of those exercises in next week. They were good ones that I did today. Good. Straighten out the bottom leg, bend the top knee, lift the top knee. See. 3. 10. Both legs out. You've got to come down for this one. Make a pillow for your head. Top hand there for balance. Roll slightly forward so you're not on that bony side bit of the hip. You're there. Up, up, down, down. Keep the legs locked. Good. Tummy strong. 10. Brilliant. Okay, so how are we doing? We've got 5 minutes of stretching, which is lovely. Hands and knees there. Stretching back, sitting into the heels, coming up, stretching forwards and arch the back. Child pose and cobra. Sit back and then forwards. 2 more of these. Stretches the shoulders, stretches the lower back, stretches the hips. Brilliant. From here, we're going to come flat, stretch a quad. We've actually worked our quads quite hard today. I don't know whether some of you can feel. I can certainly feel a little bit there. Good stuff. Other side, bend the other knee. Lovely. And because we just worked on glutes as well, I want to get into the pigeon pose. I do steal a little bit from yoga here. So that leg comes forwards and you sink down into it. My foot is not underneath me, it's that way, it's across. And then you sink down. Don't be afraid for your hips to twist a little bit though. Your hips can twist slightly. Good. Breathe. Always good to breathe into a stretch. It does help. Great work. Stick the other leg back and forwards and sink it in. You can see a little bit more there as I shuffle my foot through, sinking down into it. Nice. Not hands, 1 foot, 1 knee. Everything pointing forwards. Tuck your bottom under. Lunge into it. We're stretching this bit. Hook your hands together and stretch up. Good. Breathe in, breathe out, and ease into the stretch. Good. Always good to stretch your hip flexors. They're not as terrible a muscle as a lot of people make them out to be. A lot of people suffer with tight hip flexors. They are needed, and we do need them to be strong. But while we're doing Pilates with all of those leg lifts, it's tempting to overuse them just a little bit. So it's nice to stretch them out afterwards, as we are now. Good. Coming back, other leg forwards, hook the hands together and stretch up and lunge forwards into it. Good. Always making sure you're tucking the bottom under. We have done this stretch where we've lunged a little bit further. So it's nice just to stay upright and scoop and tuck your tailbone under as you stretch here. Good work. From this position, I would like you to put your hands down either side of that leg. We're going to turn the toes under at the back and stretch up. With this right hand, it's a right leg, with the right hand, stretch up, and then elbow down. Stretch up, and elbow down. Meanwhile, pushing back into that back heel. 3, 4, my hand disappears, I can see as I go up. 5, Brilliant. Other side, step back, other hand forwards. That might take a couple of steps for a few of you, and that's not a problem. So left arm stretch up and elbow down. 2. Breathe in, breathe out. 3, 4. Nice. Hands and knees. Just through the pelvis to ease off the lower back after some of those challenging exercises that we've done there. Stretching through the lower back. Good. Toes turned under again. Stretching your bottom up and sink back into it. Sink backwards, sink the heels down. Shoulders aim for your feet. There. Tailbones, if you can think about stretching straight upwards. The top of the hamstrings and sitting bones pointing straight up. Bend and straighten each knee. Stretch equally in both directions. Push and bend the knee and stretch the foot and stretch the other heel down. Lots of clicks there. I'm sure there are a few more coming from your homes as well. Good. Walk your hands towards your feet. Hang here again. Feel that nice stretch there, bending and straightening again. Bending and straightening the knees in this position feels a little bit different to when you're in the downward dog. Curling your way back up again. And then we're just breathing in, stretching all the way up onto the toes, down onto the heels, breathe out. Breathe in, lift your shoulders. Breathe out, drop. Breathe in, stretch up. And breathe out and down. One more of these and then we're done. Breathing in, onto your toes, all the way up. Down onto the heels, drop your shoulders. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out and drop. Breathe in, stretch up. Woo, I knew I was going to lose my balance at some point. Down, round. Okay, roll your shoulders a couple of times. And great, thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the class. Hope you're all enjoying the sun and everybody's staying well and safe. And take care.